After 10 long, torturous years, role-playing game fans around the world can experience the majesty that is Final Fantasy XV. Finally, after 2 demos, after an anime, after a full CG movie, the game is finally within our midst, and you get to gaze upon the splendor that is the Final Fantasy XV Ultimate Edition. This motherfucker was in limited quantities, obviously, on the Square Enix store. They'd announced it at E3, and pretty much, like sharks smelling blood, we jumped all over that shit and scooped it up. And unfortunately, plenty of them got scalped on eBay because people love doing that shit as much as possible. Also thought this was kind of weird. No refund if seal is broken. I've never seen that on any of the limited editions I've ever bought, but I'm just going to keep all the seal clubbing jokes to myself and just continue to go and turn this. Also, we get to see the entire crew with their camping set and their fan-diddly-tastic transformable car. But Noctis and crew on the very front and on the side of this. I'll be honest, this box was big as fuck and heavy. Was not expecting it to be this heavy, but enough babble, let's go and crack this fucker open.
48 hours later.
You see, this shit right here is right over the only tab to go and crack this thing open. And it just continuously keeps shredding apart. Now, I don't have any goo gone or anything like that, but my very first video on this channel was all about how I fucking hated the stickers that GameStop seemed to just pack onto every single little game. Well, Square Enix, you're on that list. The list of Jericho. Why the fuck is this like that? Like, are you fucking kidding? I just want to crack this open without ruining the entire box. It's a pretty box, but it won't be if I take this shit right here and cut it the fuck up. And just rip it and shred it and all the other fucking crap. But we don't need AlphaOmegaSin waving a knife around. We just need this thing off of here. Back to your regularly scheduled unboxing. What felt like me re-experiencing the 10-year wait for Final Fantasy XV just to get this damnable sticker off this fucking cover box right here. I might as well just pry the goddamn thing off with the help of the fucking Ultima weapon. But the deed is done. It looks like shit, but the deed is done. And what came inside of 2 boxes had yet another box inside of it. This is like Boxception. It's like a Final Fantasy themed nesting box. But this looks pretty damn slick, I'll admit, and all the goodies are actually trapped inside of this. So it lets you know yet again, in case, you know, you have a shitty-ass memory, this is the Final Fantasy XV Ultimate Edition. And it looks all nice and pretty, got some sigil down there and shit. And by the way, if you had pre-ordered any special edition of Final Fantasy XV from the Square Enix store, they also included these postcards right here. So I'll begin to these once I get all these goodies out of there. So let's go and crack this one the fuck open, because we already did that one. I feel like Solid Snake with how many boxes I keep on getting. This came inside 2 boxes, this box was inside that, and then these 2 boxes were inside that. This truly is like being in a high-level area, and all the random battles are just boxes. And I have to question whether or not, is this the debug game version of it? I have no fucking clue. But this is a visual treat. This right here, for any long-time Final Fantasy fan, no doubt you are already well aware that this is Yoshitaka Amano's art that's adorning this box. From pillar to post, from cover to cover, from top to bottom, this is the shit. As a matter of fact, right there, you can see Noctis and crew in the car, just blitzing along with tons of monsters and all sorts of crazy shit going on this. It's very colorful. I've seen pictures of this, but truly, I didn't think the box was nearly this big, and seeing it in person, it's awesome. Just absolutely awesome. Seriously brilliant art right there. At the top, Final Fantasy XV Ultimate Collector's Edition. And over here, while not as aesthetically appealing as this, was one of the main reasons why I picked it up. And it's the Play Arts Noctis figure for Final Fantasy XV. So I'll be opening this up second. Inside here we got the soundtrack, the anime, the game, everything pretty much that you bought it for. So let's go and bust that one open first. What's really cool is when you open this up, you have continued art even on the inside of it that you don't see on the outer part of the box, just showing that they put a lot of effort and thought into this. And I really appreciate that, just because I'm a big fan of this old school Final Fantasy art, and it's synonymous with the series. Now inside, let's go and take these out first. Now inside this one right here, we got the Final Fantasy XV game, as well as the Kingsglaive movie. And there you go. Kingsglaive, which this is fantastic. This one I did get to watch with both my best friends. We got the game right there. And in addition to those, you also have Final Fantasy 15, which this is a whole bunch of the people that had worked on the game and all their signatures, and I thought this was kind of cool. Thank you for your support. This huge ass sprawling signatures from side to side from the team, from the Final Fantasy 15 team. And I thought that was kind of cool that they would think to include something like that in there, and considering the amount of time that's gone into making this game, these movies, the soundtrack, everything, it's kind of nice having something like that. We also have a little advertisement for World of Final Fantasy, which if you haven't watched my review for it, you should go check that out, because I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was fantastic. It got overshadowed, admittedly, but yeah, that doesn't take anything away from it. Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, so we'll be getting an HD version of that. I think it's long overdue, because it's a very good game. Got Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8. I Am Setsuna. Dragon Quest Builders, which I do have that, and Final Fantasy 15 Online. Dragon Quest Builders, very good game. I need to do some kind of live stream of that at some point, but very good stuff. And you also get some of your DLC codes, which this will be for a new weapon, which is the Masamune. Anybody out there already knows that's pretty much the sword made famous by Sephiroth, but obviously existed long before Sephiroth ever did. And then there's DLC costumes and a skin for the car, so we got that included. Now inside this one, special soundtrack and the Brotherhood anime. When you go and open it up, you got the anime inside here, as well as all the different types of ratings that are used around the entire world, and the special soundtrack, which I thought it was kind of interesting that they included this on a Blu-ray disc. Now, I was kind of shocked by that, and I'm kind of curious how that's going to work. So I was expecting it just to be CDs, so, you know, and CDs nuts jokes endlessly, ha ha ha. The anime I have not watched, admittedly. I was waiting till I got this version, because apparently there was going to be additional content inside the anime on this specific version, but they've had it on Crunchyroll and on YouTube, so if you get the chance, you can go and check it out on there. You don't need to have this version of it to experience it, but if you did get this version, then you got extra content, so it was kind of nice. And last but certainly not least, out of this particular box right here, we have the hardcover Final Fantasy 15 art book. This I was pretty excited about, because with many of my RPGs out there, if I have the option of getting the art book, I try to go for it. And Final Fantasy 15 was going to be no exception to that rule. We got the 15 logo done up there real big, done up in blue with the black background. On the back, just like we had seen on the back of the outer box, we have the entire main cast with the car and camping set, so same exact thing that you saw on there is on the back here. On the side, the art of Final Fantasy 15, so this will be finding its way onto my shelf very, very soon, along with plenty of my other art books. Now, something I thought was really killer about this was when you open it up, they have a couple panorama-style fold-out posters that are amazing, considering that I had just got done gushing about how fantastic the art was on this box right here. To see this shit right here is frame-worthy. Like, no joke. This is honestly brilliant. I love this I love this kind of stuff being included. It's just very, very kick-ass and cool as shit. They also have some in the back of the book, which I thought it was nice that they even had more. But let's see what they have over here. And there we got the gang. Off on an adventure, just remember, Chocobo Crossing. They got Yojimbo. Did not know that, and Yojimbo looks scary as fuck. Like, look at this. The little hands that are creeping underneath his skin. This looks like some shit from a survival horror game, no joke. That is badass as fuck. We got Reaper right there, with lots of belts and buckles. You can tell Tetsuya Nomura was totally designing that one. Ton of different characters inside the game. Looks like just generic NPCs that are walking around. And then we get more into the hello there. So you were armored up except for in the crotchal region. Good to know. I mean, she is ready to go whenever you are. Fucking waifu status. 10 out of 10. Not bad, lady. See, I thought it was cool that they have the drawn versions and then the actual in-game CG versions whenever they're doing all this stuff. And was just talking about Sydney. Again, waifu status, 10 out of 10. Good job, Final Fantasy 15. You gave more, and this is Sid and this is Sydney, but we don't care about this one. We care about this Sid. That's the one that we give a shit about. Like, look at this shit. That is a pimp-ass ride. Like, no fucking joke. This is a pussy wagon, if I've ever seen one. If you are capable of getting laid while you're driving around in this, chances are you fucking suck. Oh, King Regis. I like his crown. I always thought that was a very cool design. And I like that they don't have just the typical cliche pretty boys throughout everything. They have, like, actual war-ready men. Like, manly men inside the game. And I think it's cool whenever they do shit like that, because they don't do it enough, in my opinion. You know, everybody, like, Luna here, she's pretty as fuck, obviously. I like to see somebody who's, like, aged and refined and all the other shit. Now, we don't want to forget about the Final Fantasy 15 postcards that they had included inside of this, just because it's an extra, and a lot of people were able to get their hands on it. I don't know if they were offering these up at any other stores, but I think they may be exclusive to the Square Enix store. So, these are going to be various scenes all throughout Final Fantasy 15, and seeing this shit blown up on my TV is going to be fantastic. Like, this shit in 65 inches, yeah, that's going to be fucking great. I'm truly looking forward to it. I've never sent out a postcard once in my life. It's just some shit that I've never done. But having these, I think these would be cool just to stick up on your wall. That's probably what I would end up doing with it if I even had any kind of wall space, because everything is pretty much covered up with band posters and all sorts of other shit. But still, a nice little extra to have included, and who knows, maybe somebody will want to go and send these out to their friends across the country or across the world. And lastly, let's go and get Noctis out of this box and showcase him to the entire world, because the fact is, action figures are pretty fucking badass. Big fan of Play Arts. I think they do a fantastic job, albeit at a big time premium, but depending on how much you enjoy those characters from that particular title, I think that it could be worth the investment. This came included inside of the Final Fantasy 15 box, so I was pretty much okay with that. Now, the first thing we can do is just have an actual look at the figure right there. And it looks good. It looks very good. I wasn't expecting anything less. I had already seen previews of what the figure had looked like, and the amount of work and attention to detail that they had gone into when they were doing this. I need to do more figure unboxings. I have so many. So, let's go and break this completely out of the packaging. The new plastic smell. I'm on a action figure euphoria high right now, and it's the same thing with new book smell, new electronic smell, new game smell, new car smell. You name it, yeah, it happens. And with action figures, it's no different. They're not dolls, damn it. They're action figures, clearly. And then we can just cut to a scene from Grandma's Boy, because, well, that's like one of the funniest scenes in the entire movie.
Come on, Laura. My cock is lost in the jungle, and it's up for you to find it. Oh, Laura, you dirty adventurer. Come on, let's go exploring. Why don't you explore my underwear, baby?
I'm pretty sure some fangirls will probably be doing something like that, but let's talk about this figure right here. Tons of points of articulation inside this, so posing him is going to be pretty damn easy, and everything locks into place, which is nice. So the figure won't be bending and getting all fucked up, which I've seen happen with plenty of action figures out there. If you look at the attention to detail on his jacket alone, you can see that they put in a fuck ton of work on this, and I really like that. I mean, just look at the sculpt on his face and the way that they painted it up. It looks fantastic. Really like this. I wasn't expecting anything less. I'd already seen the preview images online talking about it. Also, he's got some killer fucking boots. Not gonna lie, these are some proper shit stompers. I mean, I like mine. Mine are some basic ass shit stompers, but these ones look good. I don't think I could rock them though. My calves are way too fucking beefy for that, but they look pretty damn good. Like them. They're punk inspired. So, seeing that, plus, I mean, I like that the whole entire crew is wearing all black. I'm like, fuck yeah to that, because that's essentially my entire wardrobe, with the exception of any kind of camo that I include. Now, Noctis also has several different hands that are included with this. So you can go and swap those out because they're just balled up fists. And you can include open hands like this, gloved ones and non-gloved ones for both the left and right hand. So you can hold things such as his sword, which I don't know the name of the sword off the top of my head, but this shit has an engine attached to it. That right there is some Tim the Tool Man Taylor shit. Like, Dante from Devil May Cry would rock some shit like this. So the gunblade was ridiculous. I don't even know what to fucking consider this. Like, this right here is like counting cars type material just made into a fucking weapon that you're supposed to wield and carve some enemies up. And carving I shall do. I'm gonna murder so many things in this game. Plus, we've got this spear right here, which looks like it is badass as fuck. Like, I mean, how many spears do you see like this? This is typically like end of the game type weaponry, yet this seems to be the one that he runs around with all the time throughout the game. And it just looks so damn cool. Again, I'm glad that they put a lot of work into making these weapons look exactly like their in-game counterparts, just so that, you know, it doesn't look awkward when you get this. And PlayArts does an awesome job. I mean, it's genuinely terrific. Not tied down with shitloads of twist ties where I basically need to fucking be the Incredible Hulk or a goddamn Iron Giant or some shit like that to break this motherfucker out of it. Just pick up, put back, all that shit. Everything's painted up, looks beautiful. Eventually it'll go on the shelf. And it comes with some nice stands. If you aren't familiar, a lot of the more higher-end action figures, they come with plenty of stands to go and accommodate not only the figure, but the various different ways that you could potentially pose the figure, and that's what all these are for. I would take them all out, but it'd be kind of redundant because you gotta break these all off, and yeah, this is not an action figure review, just an unboxing, and I don't want this shit to take 2,000 hours, and besides, I want to go and install Final Fantasy 15 onto my PS4 and start playing this shit, and it's long overdue. Plus, I gotta edit this video together. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, because this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on!